Hello and welcome back. So after last week's episode, I got stuck down this rabbit hole looking into digital humans, and I wanted to put together a video cataloging where I think digital humans are in 2022. I think the goal of making a digital human is ambitious, and it takes all resources. I don't think we're there yet, and I'll outline the logic throughout this video. So where do you start? You typically start with trying to capture how a digital human looks. And where is the best place to go? Typically Hollywood. They're really just focused on performance. So look, behavior, that kind of thing. Behavior is not even a concern in Hollywood. There is a performance, and they go ahead and make that performance. The earliest demonstration of a realized digital human, just visually, I believe was The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. This was created by a digital domain, and it came out in 2008. This, to a lot of people in the industry, is the go-to when companies could actually put together a realistic human with all that performance and emotion that you would expect. A convincing digital human. In recent memory, to me, I think the best example of a digital human in film would be Thanos. I don't think I need to explain it, but he's probably like the largest grossing film of all time. But the story behind Thanos was that the guy playing him, Josh Brolin, thought he would have to overact his role being a digital character until he saw this test footage. If you have a look at Thanos throughout this film, it looks phenomenal, but there's a lot of subtlety within that digital character's performance, and yeah, everything comes together. It just makes it very believable. I was looking into that a little further, and it looks like all of 10 studios, massive studios, the biggest names in VFX came together to realize Thanos, which is definitely no small feat, and I think they did a fantastic job. So, alright, visuals are out of the way. Visuals are set in Hollywood, at least. It can be attained. Hollywood has different requirements, though. They're not bound by any form of restrictions, really. You go ahead, you make a thing. There is no budget in terms of poly count, texture resolution, joint count, or anything like this. And they will just put it on a render farm. Who cares if it takes 2 days per frame? It's all good. Just render that thing. And then they put it up on the big screen and it looks awesome. The next space I would like to talk about is the assistant space. And so we know this right now as Siri, as Alexa. And these are really just voice-controlled assistants through your cell phone, which makes sense. There are companies out there right now. Soul Machines comes to mind, a local company led by Mark Sager, who's put together a virtualized character. And what I believe they're doing is trying to put a virtual assistant visualized as a character in your pocket. So imagine the assistant space of Siri, Cortana, Alexa as a 3D character that emotes and actually can react to requests that you give it. I think that's where that technology goes. The technology in terms of emoting and actually being able to interpret whatever request you have and then realistically giving you a response isn't realized yet, but I feel like this is where they're going. If we have a look at NVIDIA, this is very much what they're focused on. NVIDIA is a massive player in this space. They seem to have their eggs in a lot of different 3D graphics neural net baskets. But yeah, after having a look at this article, this is very much something that they're dedicating a lot of resources to. This, to me, is not quite there. I really don't think the interactions of it or lack of direct applications outside of voice are a good use of a digital human. Which brings me to video games. With video games, you have a direct interaction, a direct gameplay interaction through your playable character. This is why I think Unity and Unreal's examples and their demos are so cool to see, because you can envision gameplay based on what they show. So very realistic characters through what Unity showed recently and Unreal's metahumans. That technology is really cool. What are the existing examples? I typically look at the larger AAA studios, and for me, 2 games stick out being the best examples. And this is Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption 2, and of course Naughty Dog with The Last of Us Part 2. Just to show you what they happen to pull off with The Last of Us Part 2, the enemies and the NPCs and the way they would react to their main focus was gameplay in terms of, well, killing NPCs and enemies. So they put a lot of resources into that, and a lot of things came together to realize their digital humans with the smart use of AI behavior, animations, modeling, and really great voice acting. All these things need to come together in real time in order to make and sell that interaction. And so I think Naughty Dog's Last of Us 2, for that particular gameplay, is hands down probably the best I've seen in terms of that kind of gameplay. It's very much, if you're an empathetic kind of player, you would shoot someone and feel awful for it, even though these characters don't exist. And then we go to Rockstar. Rockstar is interesting because their gameplay is very similar to a Last of Us, but their worlds are so much grander. Personally, I love how they do it because the way they tune their AI for civilians and enemies, it really adds to the world that they create. And this is different to some other games where you actually have a difficulty setting. And so I feel like as soon as you introduce a difficulty setting in gameplay, then your developers are then spreading their time out to compensate for very top tier players as well as the general demographic, which is, again, it spreads your resources out to accommodate for this broad market. Whereas in Rockstar's case, they just focus on the one particular AI, and they're making this AI routine for various scenarios rather than the various difficulty tiers. I hope that makes sense. Rockstar also can focus on, the passive NPC behavior as well as the aggressive behavior, and these are not typically things that you would see in a Naughty Dog game, which is another really cool distinction. Yeah, suffice to say, the promise of the next Rockstar game and Naughty Dog game for these current gen consoles is quite exciting. I'm personally looking forward to seeing what these guys do with all this graphic fidelity and modern hardware. That's pretty much like the 3 different spaces I feel like are the obvious ones that contain or contribute to realizing digital humans. I think the video game space is probably the most exciting one to me. But then there's also deepfakes. I'm not going to go into deepfakes too much, but deepfakes are interesting where they are purely manipulating pixels. So there is no 3D behind it. I actually don't even know how this technology works, and I'll probably have to do another talk about that. But these 4 different categories that I've listed are the ones that exist to me and contribute to selling digital humans. And when I say digital humans, I'm talking completely made up characters that we then look to and identify with, and they typically tell some kind of story. Yeah, that's where I think we are in 2022. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.